Welcome to tonight's video. Tonight I want to do a video discovering what it means to hold power. What it means to hold power. And I feel like that could mean different things for everybody. It may mean different things. You know, for me to hold power may look different than someone else, depending on what you've been called to do or even who you are. You know, we're all individuals. We all have different strengths and different challenges, and so that could look very different. However, in this need to really operate in the fullest potential that we have in this lifetime, I feel like one of the things that's needed is really to understand not only what we've been called to do, but how we can fulfill that. I know for me that I'm still, you know, learning what that is and stepping into that. It's a constant process. And so I wanted to delve in and kind of explore that by way of finding out what it means to hold power. That's one of the things that's necessary to be able to fully operate in the space that you are called to. And so I will be choosing I'll be using three different, not oracle decks. I'll be using three different tarot decks along with three different stones. So I have my Muse tarot deck, and this is with the green budstone. Yeah, the green budstone. And then I have my white sage tarot deck. Can you see that? I know it's very bright. And this is with the ocean jasper is what this one is. Very pretty rock. Ocean jasper. And then lastly, I have my star tarot deck I'll be pulling from as well. And then I have obsidian, and obsidian, it was, before I broke it, it was an obsidian spearhead. And so I'll be using this for my deck number 3. And so, yeah, we'll be discovering through these 3 decks. I also will be pulling from my African Goddess Rising, my Oracle 7 of Energies, also my my Oracle deck around chakras as well. And so we'll be pulling from those as well, okay, to discover what that looks like to hold power and what does that mean. And so thank you for stopping by. If you find that you do like the content, please like, share, comment if you feel like it is resonating with you. You also have the ability to schedule a session with me if you choose to, if you feel like you're resonating with what I have to offer and you want to explore deeper. I usually do tap into readings around purpose mostly. Sometimes I feel like I'm being called to tap into love when it comes up when I'm reading, but I do generally love to talk about purpose. I feel like that's my my niche is purpose driven. And so yeah, so feel free to do that as well. My calendar is below in the description box. And if you feel led to support the channel by way of donating, there's a couple of different ways you can do that below as well. All forms of support is appreciated. It does help the channel to grow and possibly have this reach those that may need to hear it, right? My frequency, if you find that you are resonating with it, you landed on this page for a reason, whether you came looking or whether you just happened to land on it, you're here for a reason. And I feel like Spirit may be saying something to you, for you. And so thank you for stopping by. With that being said, let's start with our first deck. And for our first reading, we have our green budstone with the Muse Tarot. What does it mean to hold power is what we're exploring today. And so let's get started. I'll put this right here. And so we'll start with some of our oracle cards. So our first oracle card is actually Asaseya. And Asaseya brings the energy of joy. And I want to look at the specific responsibilities that you've been given with this card that came out for you. Asasewa is actually from the Temple of Warriors, and the energy she carries is fire energy. As you can see, she's nursing her child. She's also surrounded kind of with a reddish, yellowish aura. It's mostly yellow, right? Immediately outside of her crown. Gives me very earthy energy. And so she brings the energy of joy. And I feel like for who this first reading is connecting with, I feel like you are definitely someone who's been called to the front line. You've been called to the front line of true internal power is what I'm hearing. And I can't help but see how the aura around her, she radiates the color yellow. You could very much be in tune or tapped in or just connected with the color yellow, which also aligns with the solar plexus. And so the solar plexus definitely deals with who you are, or it deals with your specific path, right? Definitely fire energy. And so I feel like for whoever this first reading is connecting with or resonating with, that you actually have been called, part of your responsibility in the earth is that you've been called to stand, not only to stand in your truth, but also to act out your truth, to act on your truth. I feel like you carry very determined energy. You're very strong. You carry an energy of transformation. And then you just have a very vibrant, a very radiant energy about you. And part of your responsibility is for you to not only find and stand in your truth, but also to find and stand in your joy. She brings the energy of joy. I feel like for who I'm talking to, your presence is very significant. I feel like you're somebody that changes the atmosphere. And it's important for you to not only find your joy, but also to stand in your joy. Allow yourself to feel the greatest expression of joy and happiness and delight, because everything around you is connected to it. I feel like you've been purposed. You've been given a very high level of joy. a very high frequency you carry. And it's because you actually fertilize the earth with your joy. As I said, you're someone who changes the environment. You change the very environment and the people in it, the things in it. You have a specific contribution that you pour into just being. Right? And so it's understanding your responsibility to be happy. That's the responsibility that's been placed on who's tapping into this reading right now. And it's understanding that you are safe to do that. You're safe to feel good. And so allow yourself to really feel joy at its highest expression with no limits, which is really nothing more than self-love, right? It's self-love. And the greatest aspect of the word. I feel like there is a uniqueness to your joy. You don't really feel the need to allow that to look like anyone else's, or you shouldn't. It's whatever you can imagine, right? If you can't imagine it, then don't expect to live it. But if you've imagined it, then allow that to come to fruition in your life. Seek to produce that level of joy. And I'm getting giggly therapy, right? This could be somebody that is definitely bubbly in character, someone who is giddy, right? Probably someone who has a very good sense of humor as well. And so this is your responsibility, is bringing that element of joy. I feel like you're nurturing those around you. You're even nurturing your environment. You're nurturing Earth with the energy that you carry, that you've been given. And so laugh with your mouth wide open, right? With your eyes wide open. However, laugh till your belly hurts, because you're healing when you do that. And you probably already do that. And you help to release those. There's a natural release of endorphins when we laugh, right? And that's the element of what you're bringing. What other responsibilities? This could sit different for everybody. I've just pulled a couple of cards here. We also have Hod, which comes with tell the truth. So we have joy and we have tell the truth. And I feel like part of the responsibility that you've been given is also bringing truth into darkness. I feel like you've been called to enlighten and help others to see, and possibly guide others through what we would consider the dark night of the soul. You could definitely be a light worker as well. And what the dark night of the soul is, it's where you go through an awakening, where you actually are faced with your deepest fears in order to heal them, in order to be healed and surpass those limitations. And I feel like you have been given the responsibility to be a support in that way, through depression, possibly through addictions, through self-deception or self-illusions. You are simply a truth speaker, and your voice liberates. There's something that happens when you speak truth. And I feel like you're someone who has a very deep level of passion and love as well. And so when you speak truth, there has been a sense of power that is released when you speak. That too changes environments, changes people. And so the responsibility that's been weighed on you lies in your joy and lies in your voice. It lies in you speaking and being a support in that way. Part of that is just making sure that you yourself are aligning with your own truth and being completely honest with yourself about how you really feel and what it is that you are really understanding about yourself. That's standing in your power. We're talking about holding power. What does that mean to hold power? For you, these are the responsibilities that you've been given. You've been given, you're a truth speaker, and you bring joy, you bring liberation and freedom. And one of the ways I feel like that you are carrying that out, we have seeing beyond. And with seeing beyond, this is definitely tapping into the energy of a seer. Possibly someone who sees things past the present into the future. You're someone who is able to see past the reality and see into the spiritual realm. You could be someone who has visions. You could even be someone who is a channeler in that way. You channel information from the future. But there's this energy of seeing beyond. I feel like for who I'm talking to, you're definitely tapped in that way. And that's how you're carrying this responsibility that you've been given. That's part of the way that you're carrying that out, is the fact that you have visions. It could be dreams. It could be a strong sense of imagination that holds truth. Yeah. And that carries beyond the imagination into the material of being. There's this energy of seeing past the physical into the transpersonal, into definitely the possibilities of what could be. And so I'm seeing somebody has a very strong sense of vision here that you operate in. This is how you are operating in your responsibility. I don't know if you know it, but I'm definitely seeing this energy. As you can see, the third eye is encapsulated by a triangle there. It's pointing to the energy of seeing beyond. Somebody who's tapped into the spiritual realm deeply. And there's many different ways that you can do that. However that is translated for you. This is an energy or a gifting that you possess that's been given to help you carry out the responsibilities that you've been given. You may currently be using this right now in how you relate and connect with people. You've been gifted with divine vision. Yeah. And then the other energy in operation, how you're carrying out these responsibilities. I have a powerful move here. So I'm also getting the energy of kind of like a manifester, which is someone who's able to translate or they're able to create from the imagination. It's somebody who is able to actually take a vision and actually bring it into the 3D, bring it into reality, right? That's the easiest way I can explain what a manifester is. They're able to take a vision or a thought and actually bring it into fruition to where it becomes a reality. This is one of the giftings that you have, how you're carrying out the responsibilities. And I almost feel like this is someone who actually is really good at being receptive of opportunities and taking opportunities to make good decisions in order to bring the manifestation to life. It's someone who's able to act wisely, a powerful move. So you're very strategic in what it is that you do, how you do what you do. I almost feel like you see past the immediate and you're able to see into the future of what could be. You have very good vision. Yeah. This is beautiful. And you do it in a way that creates positive change as well. You do it in a way that empowers, right? Whether that's for a cause or whether that's empowering people, the intention behind it, the choices that you make, and the powerful moves are with purpose. It's with purpose. As you can see, we have a chess piece here. You're always thinking a few steps ahead at the outcome of what it could be. I think that really ties in really well with the vision gifting that you operate in as well. This is how I see you operating and carrying out the responsibilities that you've been given to bring in this high level of joy and contentment in the world, and also this sense of awakening. There's the sense of speaking a truth to shake people out of darkness that you hold. And there's giftings that's been given to help you with those responsibilities. These are ways that you operate in that. And of course, with everything, there's always a challenge, right? There's always a challenge. And nothing always is 100% enjoyable. There's always just a side that may not be seen or understood. And so with that, we have part of the challenge could be with the fact that you may not really even fully understand the fact that you are a testament to the earth. And that's literally and figuratively. You're a testament to the earth. And I get like earth angel energy with this card here. You see this person giving to this child something. Looks like a scroll or something, right? But you carry earth angel energy. And I feel like this is also intercessor energy. I feel like I'm talking to someone. Your life has very much been a process of really pouring yourself out in the world to those who come across your path, to those who are entangled in your life. Like you have very much been like a guiding light where you are. Whether that's taking on the role of a healer or a guide of some sort, a mentor or a teacher to those who come across your path. However, there's many ways you can do that. It doesn't always have to be something that you're standing in front of a class and teaching. Teaching can be on social media as well, just by what you speak. There's a level of teaching that's happening because you have the ear of those who are tapping into whatever it is that you're saying. You're making a true contribution through your own spiritual journey. I'm getting someone who shares their processes and they share their experiences. And there's like a belief that what you're doing is actually making a difference. That's why you do it. And it's understanding that even more so. I feel like you don't understand the impact that you're having. It's like a trickling effect or a domino effect. And it's also understanding not to get weary, because in doing this, you are divinely supported. Whatever it is that you're needing, whatever you're going through, there is a divine support that's being guided towards you because of the commitment that you've made. This may also be things like doing work with the natural world, the physical earth, right? With like various different causes, like earth-centered causes, like conservation or animal welfare, some type of organic or biodynamic farming. It could also be around food production, ethical food production. This could be more spiritual based as well. You could be someone who is a very active prayer. You could go through your day just with a constant, nonstop prayer, praying for assistance and protection and compassion and, cleansing and clearing and blessing when you see, someone in need or some type of tragedy, an accident on the road or an animal or person that seems to be suffering, right? Just anything that you might feel needs light and healing, right? It could be from a spiritual perspective as well. And it's understanding the impact that you are having. And this comes through as a challenge because you may not understand the dynamic effect that you're having. The dynamic effect that you're having. I feel like you feel like, and you're right, that you've been asked to do your work quietly and confidently and be dedicated to that. And because of that, that's why you're being supported in all your work. And everything that you need will be supplied materially, spiritually, financially, emotionally, mentally, right? In every way, you are being guided to understand that. So don't stop doing what you're doing, number one, and understand that you are being supported in what you're doing. So don't stress yourself out about it. And so the struggle here is you possibly wondering whether or not what you're doing is even making a difference. Yes, it is. It is. Again, you are a testament to the earth, literally and figuratively. You are an intercessor. And I know that term is used religiously, but I say that universally. You are an intercessor. From earth to every other living thing that exists in the earth realm and possibly outside of the earth realm as well. I account for creation, period. Not just from our level of understanding, but from the level of existence. There's so much that we've yet to even fathom, right? I can't even imagine just Earth being the only beautiful part of creation. In my mind, I understand and I believe that there's so much more beyond. One day, I believe we'll find out the truth of that. Today, we can only go as far as, we've been allowed to go. But I feel like you sit in a way, an intercession towards all of creation. And yes, that goes beyond Earth. Beyond Earth. So understand that what you're doing it matters. And you are being rewarded richly for it. So don't grow weary. The other challenge you could be facing here, I want to go ahead and take time into consideration. Hopefully I'm doing good. We're at 25 minutes. Okay. The other challenge here, we have spiritual decree. Excuse me. I feel like for some, you may even be yet to realize your power or your position, right? Sometimes we get caught up in wondering or trying to see, right? Trying to see what's coming next, what'll happen next, but not even realizing that you hold the power for what happens next. Like that's very much within your control. What is it that you want to happen next is more the question, not what happens next, but what do you want to happen next? Are you willing to use these giftings that you have? The divine birthrights of free will and your voice, right? Speaking in an empowering way to set things in motion. That's the question. I feel like for who I'm talking to, you could be someone who has been standing in a position of receiving, which is okay. That's the perfect position to stand in. You've been praying and asking for help and for some type of guidance or direction. I feel like there is a sense of knowing, partly the position and the power that you stand in, but there's a desire and an integrity in what it is that you do, wanting to make sure of how you're using it, if making sure it's aligned, right, in integrity. And so partly there's the energy here of standing and asking, right? See, she's very humble position that she's sitting in here, her hands on her heart, right? And so you're wise in the fact that you sit in a receptive way, in a humble way, with a responsive approach, to life. That's actually very mature. It's very wise spiritually to trust, the greater guiding power of the divine to direct your course. And yet there's the question that rings here, how things happen, how will things unfold? And it's understanding that our divine destiny, honestly, is not something that just happens to us, but it's something that we co-create as we live, because we are spiritual beings with free will, and we have the love of the divine, right, thriving in us, beating in our hearts, coursing through our blood. And so it's almost like we've been entrusted. You've been entrusted with the ability to ask for guidance and to wait for signs, as that is being brought to you. You're also being asked while you're doing that to set intentions and to direct your faith and to ask for what your heart yearns for. What you love so much that you're willing to go through any level of discomfort of growth to see it come to life. You're being asked to do that part. This is a co-creation, right? With our Creator, with the divine. And so it's understanding. It's understanding your power and the position that you have given to co-create. Yes, we are waiting and we are being receptive, but part of that is being able to set the intention and being able to ask for what it is that is kind of brewing in our hearts, right? And I almost get, I don't know if it's fear or lack of trust. It may not be either. But if it is, I feel like this oracle card is asking you, it's time to speak your truth, right? Going back up here to Had, which talks about using the voice, the throat chakra. That's part of the responsibility that has been handed to you. And you have also been given that responsibility over your own life as well. It's time to speak your truth, even when it pertains to your own life. What is it that your heart truly yearns for? That's the question. And when you realize that, focus on it and say it out loud. Don't be afraid to speak your wildest dreams or desires or your wishes or even your fantasies. Our words have power. And when we come to realize that, we're unstoppable. It's not because of us or what we can do, but it's because we have the energy of co-creation, right? When we realize the power and the position that we stand in, right? It's activating the relationship that's in place for us to be everything that we have been ordained to be in this lifetime. Yeah, it could be a little exciting. For some, it could be terrifying. It could be liberating. Definitely life-changing all at once. It's almost like the moment that we grow into a spiritual adult, right? Becoming willing to take the responsibility for our own life's journey. Yeah, in that way. It's not taking the place of the creator or source, but it's understanding our position and the power that we've been given, okay? So give yourself permission to express your deepest desires. Then let go and trust. So that could be part of the challenge that's being experienced here. It's not really taking it seriously, like the position that you have been made aware of, the power that's been placed in your hand. I almost get the sense like you've yet to take it seriously. Like, is this really real? Yes, it is. It is. And so let's get some advice now that we know, a little bit more about holding power, our responsibility for whoever I'm tapping into, how that's, being carried out in the world, in your life, and any challenges that could be perceived through this energy that you are experiencing through your callings. Let's see what type of advice comes out. We have create silence and pause for reflection. I did pull the cards early just to sense, have a respect for time for those watching. They sound very similar, but they're subtly different. Create silence and pause for reflection. I feel like I'm hearing with create silence, divine timing is at play, is what I'm hearing with create silence. Yeah. I feel like this is calling in the advice to take the opportunities when you find opportunities to get still, to take those opportunities and do just that. Just get still and listen in silence. Turn off the phones, turn off the TVs, right? Turn off the computers and just allow yourself to sit still and move towards the center of your heart where there is quietness, quietude. And in doing that, it's understanding that your very soul, your soul has secrets to tell you. But your soul speaks in whispers, right? And so there's the need to create silence so that you can hear what's being said. And that's going to open up this energy of ease, right? All it takes sometimes is just a couple of seconds to slow down and breathe. And it totally changes the whole atmosphere from inside out. Where there were, disturbing or warring thoughts, after doing that, now there's peace. And so incline your ear to silence, and she will offer up herself to you. Yeah. And then with pause for reflection, this is kind of the same energy, just slightly different. This is creating a space, right? This is entering the energy. This is actually creating the space to reflect on everything that you know and all of the insight that you've gathered from things that you've experienced recently. And I feel like Spirit wants you to do this often. Do it often. Sit in that sacred space and be still and listen and consider. This is not movement. This is not strategizing or acting, but this is that waiting, right? Mastery doesn't strive. Mastery doesn't chase. But she's able to sit still and welcome all things in its perfect timing. Divine timing is what I'm hearing here. Divine timing is at play. What other advice do we have? Pulling from our Chakra Oracle deck. Definitely from the root chakra. This is finding balance. This is getting grounded, right? Considering a tree, a large tree, and how far the roots go down into the earth to support the huge tree, right? Think of the largest tree you've ever seen. Imagine how far down the roots go to support the mass of that tree. Not only that, not only does it support the tree trunk, but it also supports everything that's reaching up and expanding, right? Everything that's reaching up and expanding, which is what's happening for you here. This is the energy of reaching up and expanding. Holding power is reaching up and expanding what you have and staying grounded from the root, staying grounded in the foundations as you reach up and expand, right? And in the advice, you're being guided to do that, to find harmony by planting your roots deep within the earth, like a tree. Consider yourself like a tree. The root chakra is actually the first energy center in the body. It's located down by your spine. It's like 2 inches forward from the spine, the tailbone down there. It's the first energy center. It's associated with the color red. All of the energy centers are aligned from the root. That's the first one. It's the foundation. This is the energy center that balances all the other energy centers. If this one is off balance, then everything else will be kind of wacky as well. And so the root chakra is actually connected to our physical body and our sense of home and belonging and feeling protected, right? It's being grounded and, taking up space. It's taking up space as well. Our livelihood, the influences, our family, right? All that is taken into consideration. And so I feel like Spirit, in the advice, Spirit is asking you to, number one, stay grounded, right? Make sure that you are definitely attending to yourself. How can you be everything to everybody else and neglect yourself? You can't. It has to start with you. And so if you find, that's probably why it's also so important to pause and to stop and get still, because in that stopping, best believe your body is going to tell you if something needs attention. And it's the energy of listening to that. Listening to what needs attention in yourself. If you've been eating an unbalanced diet, right? Not eating well, or not getting enough movement, or not drinking enough water, or not getting enough rest, right? It's listening to your body so that you can stay grounded and take care of the foundational parts of your being, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. Some of the aspects of home and your surroundings may be in need of purification as well. That counts too. The root chakra talks about home. Making sure that you are clearing out clutter and accumulation of stuff, or even disorganization can affect how we feel within. Is paying attention to those things and making time for those things. Yeah. And it's making time to create whatever is needed, giving it attention, basically. And don't forget making sure that you are looking at outside influences that could be having an effect on your physical experience as well. Because once you become aware of what's not serving you, then you can make the commitment to yourself to actually attend to what needs to be rooted out or what is needed to make sure that you're stable in that way, so that you can, like this tree, reach the new heights that you have been called to. Yeah. And then on the other side, we have warrior. Back to that warrior energy. And this is the solar plexus chakra. Again, earlier we were talking about the color yellow and how that aligns with the solar plexus chakra. And the solar plexus chakra is the third chakra up from the root. This is who you are and your path. That's what that taps in when we were talking about that first card about joy, right? This is the action towards your truth. This is the energy of being aligned so that you can actually not only know your truth, but take action towards your truth. And this card is called the warrior. Empowerment. Call on your inner strength and stamina as you establish your place in the world. And I hear Spirit saying, understand that you are in a war, the long way. That's what I just heard. Understand that you are in a war, the long way. Again, as I was saying, the Temple of Warriors came out with that first card. I feel like I'm speaking to a spiritual warrior of sorts, which the earth has had many battles, many tales that we can look back upon, both good and evil representation, right? But either way, when we're talking about a warrior, we're talking about the need for believing in self, as well as stamina and the ability to hold steadfastly with determination. There would be no warrior if at the hardest time of the battle, they just kind of walked away, right? When things got difficult. When we talk about great heroes, we're talking about people that struggled but never gave up during the fight for what they believed in and what they knew was right. And it's that process that we're talking about here. That energy and that resolve that the solar plexus chakra gives us access to. This is also where the ego resides as well, with other qualities like stamina and action, taking action on your truth or your inner strength, right? When we know who we are and when we know how we serve or what it is that we've been called to do, it's with great ease that we can define our place in the world. I believe that. It's almost like coming into alignment, right? And then we can flow. But it's coming into alignment. And so that inner warrior, if you have not let them emerge, it's being called to emerge at once. You may not physically be actually going into battle, but you are going to need those qualities that the solar plexus offers. That strength, that stamina, and that resolve, right? Those things are necessary in this life, in this calling. Yeah. And if by any chance you have kind of drifted off or become a little complacent, right, it's time to come back. It's time to realign and to get back on course. If you've given away your power and allowed others to take control of the wheel, it's time to re-engage and take your power back. Take the reins back and begin to re-engage yourself and your mind, knowing that you have all of the internal focus that's needed, and the divine will handle anything that comes your way that's too big for you. Sometimes we forget just how powerful and how resilient we are. Yeah, but it's reminding you of this as you move forward, of your power. This is how we hold power. And you'll be ready for any battle. And your strength will be assured. So even in that, you're being called to choose your battles wisely. You don't have to engage in every battle that you're invited to, right? As a divine being, you're always encouraged to use your gifts, right? The gifts that you've been given, and find peaceful resolutions in doing that, okay? A compassionate warrior is what you are. And we'll end off with our tarot, which we have the Muse Tarot, and I pulled a few cards, 8 to be exact. So we have the Ace of Emotions, the Page of Voices. We have the Page of Voices, the Ace of Emotions, the Page of Inspirations in reverse, the 9 of Emotions in reverse, the 9 of Materials in reverse, the 10 of Voices, the Ace of Materials, and the Tower. Okay. And so first off, let me say, 9 came out. So 9s may be significant to you. The number 99 could be significant. I have 2 aces out here. So 11 could be significant. I could be talking to a path number 11, which is actually a visionary. What was this? Page of Voices, which is actually a visionary. And so let's see. So immediately what I'm getting here, starting with the Page of Voices, this is kind of like the needing to align. You're being guided, and in your advice is making sure that you are aligning your actions with your words. It's been a lot about speaking here. I feel like for who I'm talking to, this is someone who has a very powerful energy that lies in your tongue, that lies in what it is that you say, you're speaking. That could be one of the areas of challenge as well, the throat chakra, or just having difficulties speaking at times, because it's very much wherever your gifting lies, that's where you find the most resistance, right? And so you're being guided with the Page of Voices to make sure that you align your actions with your words. That's also aligning with the Solar Plexus chakra. It's not only realizing your truth, but being empowered to act on it. Being empowered to act on it. Overall, this brings the energy of resilience, like being willing to learn, being a student, right? Being curious and intelligent and open to see things that are being revealed to you. It's an energy that thirsts, to move, and it thirsts for knowledge and learning. It wants to go out and do. Yeah. But there's a balance here, because this could be kind of like a polar opposite of stillness, right? It's almost like the opposite of that. But when it's in balance, right? When that solar plexus is in balance, then it's a good energy pushing you forward, needing to help you to get what's needed to align your actions with what it is that you're speaking, right? So you're being guided to just be open, to continuously learn and put yourself out there, and just make sure that you're living in the fullest expression of your authenticity and your integrity as well. And your integrity. And with the Ace of Emotions, this is bringing in new connections. Not only new connections, I feel like this is like that passion for life, right? This is almost like that joy factor in your responsibilities. You're bringing this energy to everything that you touch, to everything that you connect with. It's the energy of excitement and compassion and creativity, unrepressed creativity. And along with that comes the healing and the liberating, right? This is like the intelligence and the intuition of the heart connection. And so you're being guided to allow yourself to feel in that way, allow yourself to connect in that way, because I feel like that's part of the reward of living. It's to be able to experience the highest fulfillment that life has to offer. And that's for you. Understand that. And so allow yourself to receive it and to experience that. Yeah, that's for you. And with the page of inspiration and, well, I'll just say the page of inspiration, which is actually in reverse. I feel like that's, first of all, the page of inspiration upright is the energy of being excited. It's this very energetic energy. It's creative energy. But when it's in reverse, it's the opposite. It's unfocused. And it's negative energy. It's pessimistic energy, seeing everything in a negative light. So you're being guided to stay away from that. Like if you connect or you happen to run across that type of energy, avoid it. Avoid it. And just make sure that you're doing heart checks so you don't find yourself in that energy, because you've been purposed for the very opposite of that. Okay? That's draining energy. Don't nobody want that. I know I don't. And then we have the 9 of emotions and the 9 of pentacles. Both of those are very, it's fulfillment emotionally, it's fulfillment materially as well. But when it's in reverse, it's almost like living beyond your means and not really being appreciative of what it is that you've been given. It's like taking things for granted and always wanting things your way, not really being able to have gratitude or thankfulness for wherever it is that you are, right? And when you operate in that type of energy, even when you get to where you're wanting to go, you're not going to be appreciative, right? It's that kind of energy. And so I feel like Spirit is just reminding you in all that's being brought your way, which is beautiful. I feel like everything that you desire, if you want, you can have. But remember the purpose behind it. Remember your responsibilities. Don't get caught up in the materialistic, the superficial energy. Don't get caught up in the superficiality of living, is what these two being in reverse is. You are definitely going to experience the height of joy in your life. But remember the purpose behind it. You are like a conduit to the earth, in the earth. That's the purpose of this high level of fulfillment, along with you being able to partake of that as well. So don't lose yourself in it. With the Ten of Voices and the Tower and the Ace of Materials, I feel like there are possibly, there's always going to be some hazards to any job. But with the Ten of Voices and the Tower, I really do feel like there is a process many times to this. And the Ten of Voices talks about a painful truth or realization, a despair, the energy of victimization, right? It's unfortunate events that would threaten to knock you off of your high horse, betrayal or loss of some kind. The Tower brings that same type of energy potentially, but it's understanding that even when that does happen, right, it's not what happens to you that matters. It's how you respond to it. You always have the opportunity. You always have the opportunity to respond in likeness, right? When you understand that everything is working out for you, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you, then you have the opportunity to respond and not react. And so there could be things, and there may be things coming forward that are beyond your control. You're not meant to control them. This is really supposed to be an experience of ease. Once you understand who you are and what you've been called to do, it's supposed to be an experience of ease. And in knowing that, and the fact that you are in position and doing what you are supposed to be doing, the divine and spirit is going to work all of that out on your behalf. So understand that moving forward here. And then I want to end with the Ace of Materials, and we'll end it there. This brings in the energy of exciting new beginnings, right? Future comforts, fresh roots, manifesting abundance. And abundance is not only money. Many people, when they hear abundance, they're thinking material things. Abundance is every good thing that you can imagine, emotionally, physically, spiritually. It's every part of the man being fulfilled, every part of the woman being fulfilled, every part of our beings being fulfilled. It's bringing in a new level of abundance. And it's bringing in the energy too for the potential for massive prosperity. Now that is talking about security and wealth. So it's opening the door for that for you, whoever this is resonating with. But also understanding the responsibility of it and the purpose of it. And so this reading is talking about holding power. It's being able to hold your position and not being influenced to leave your stand, your post, your guard, what you've been called to do, your responsibilities. And that's what we've been talking about, holding power. Holding power. This is beautiful for whoever this is resonating with. Holding power. And so that's what I have for this reading. That is what I have for this reading, which is so beautiful. And I think we made good timing. If this resonated with you, please comment. Let me know how it resonated. I do appreciate you taking the time to stop and like, share, listen. However you contribute, I appreciate it. And this was our Muse Tarot deck. And it was coupled with the green budstone. This beautiful budstone. I feel like this would be a stone that's would be associated with the heart. It would also be associated with I don't know why I'm thinking prosperity is what I'm getting from this. I've yet to look this up. I'll have to look this up. But I'm feeling prosperity from this. Prosperity. If somebody knows what a green budstone represents, if you can comment below, I would be so appreciative. I actually stopped at there was a place here when I was traveling over the weekend, and I stopped at a metaphysical underground, and I ran across a whole bunch of stones that I had never heard of before. This one's one of the ones that I picked up along with the others here. And so if you chose reading number 1, this one was for you. I will most likely come back tomorrow and Tuesday to finish reading number 2 and number 3, as we're already deep within the hour. And so, yes, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope I said something that was supportive of your path, that was enlightening for your path and empowering in one way or another. That's why I'm here. Thank you for allowing me to speak into your life, for I don't take it lightly. And so until next time, thank you for stopping by. If you're new, please hit that, hit the subscribe button. I almost said share. Hit the subscribe button. If you're returning, thank you. Go ahead and like or comment. Let me know that you're here and that you resonated with something. However that resonated, it just lets me know that what I'm saying is what I'm saying, right? It's real. And so it does help me to reinforce and to even be more encouraged, right? Especially when I already know that I'm tapping into someone's energy, but when I get a response, it even makes it that much more clear, right? How it's resonating. And so, yeah, feel free to share if you'd like. And with that being said, thank you for stopping by. I'm going to go ahead and stop rambling on because I'll go on forever and ever. So that was reading number 1. Until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful start of your next week. Good night.